Let's take it to our next round. We have Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It is the tank chase and rescue taking on Troy's Hector versus Achilles fight. How'd you score this?
I did 6-4 Last Crusade.
I have 7-3 Last Crusade.
Okay.
Quick on Last Crusade. Now that we've covered all three of the big set pieces from the Indiana Jones franchise, or the original trilogy of it, when you watch them so close together, you can tell how different they are. And I really appreciate that.
Well, Last Crusade is
mostly character work. It's not mostly...
Well, and Last Crusade is borderline slapstick at times.
Yeah, it kind of can be, yeah.
Like, there's so much comedy in Last Crusade. Throughout the entire movie, really.
Right, but it works.
No,
and the tone just works. Because, again, Spielberg, greatest director of all time. What are you going to do? But, again, Spielberg does exactly what we gave credit to in last episode to Peter Jackson. Everybody gets their moment to shine. Every character, even the fucking Nazi goons, everyone gets at least a moment to be something. Mm-hmm. And I really appreciate that in Last Crusade, which will be take on that. Troy. Troy shot beautifully, by the way. I was really impressed by the cinematography of that fight.
Yeah. So I think one of the things it had going for it was I just finished the book Song of Achilles. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, by Madeline Miller.
Okay.
It was like highly recommended on a bunch of different websites. So I was like, I'll give it a shot. So I read it. And I literally just finished it maybe 2 days ago. So that played into it, I'm sure. Because I was like, I think I'm going to rewatch Troy. It was one of these days.
Sure.
And I just happened to have to watch this scene. But one of the things I like about it is it really is a lot more different than all the other one-on-one fights in this tournament.
Very different.
Like, compare this one to the Gladiator Maximus Tigris fight. It's way different. Like, in terms of style of fighting, in terms of the way they're shot, like, even in terms of, like, just weaponry they choose to fight with.
Yeah.
It's a lot different.
It's kind of wild what was done with that. It's a spear and a shield, and then eventually a sword. That's it. What I loved about Troy here is, like, I think the cinematography is superb. The lighting, you get the whole environmental shot. Beautiful. Everybody somehow has heard the story of Achilles. Everybody knows it. Mm-hmm. You know what's going to happen before this fight. You know it. And still there's a great tension there where you're like, well, what could happen? You never know. Like, and I love that the character is what shines in both of them. Really good action, but it's based in character. Where it begins and ends with character in this scene. I love Hector is the babyface. He's like, no, let's agree.
It's kind of, there's really no hero or villain in this fight.
Which is why I think inherently Troy is a flawed film. Because it doesn't really give you anything.
That's what I like about it, actually.
Who directed Troy again?
Good question. I don't know. I'll look it up right now.
I can't remember, but because it was part of that, like, after the Lord of the Rings and everyone tried to make sword and sandal movies.
The fucking cast of it is stacked.
Oh, yeah.
Of Troy. It is amazing
also,
how stacked that
Brad
movie
Pitt
is.
has never looked better than when he's Achilles. He's looking good in that movie.
It is directed by... Oh, it's Wolfgang Peterson.
Yeah.
So Das Boot. Yeah.
So, the thing about it is why I say there's a clear... In this fight, the movie itself, there's no clear good guy, bad guy. Or in my parlance, babyface and heel. right? But in this fight, just this scene, there is a clear babyface and there's a clear heel. Hector comes out respectful, honorable. Hey, I give you my word. Let's give each other our word. We're gonna proper funeral rituals, proper respect, and Achilles is having none of that shit. He's like, you thought you killed me. You didn't. You honored my friend by slaughtering him. I'm gonna fucking kill you. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay, like
Lover slash friend, I think.
yeah.
That's at least that's the way it plays out in Song of Achilles, at least.
And so it's so clear that there is a babyface and a heel, and the babyface is not gonna win. You can tell from moment one. You're like, well, Achilles is just better. That shot of Brad Pitt spinning the spear on top of the shield behind his head and trying to stab from behind his back and then spinning it again to use as a battering ram is incredible. That's a great choreographed fight sequence.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's different because the weaponry they choose to do it with.
Right.
Because like you do never see choreographed fights with spears and shields.
Exactly.
Other than 300, I can't think of a single movie where they actually do that.
You get a little bit in the army shots of Lord of the Rings, but it's not much. It's not like a...
yeah, not much.
It's very
you never
much...
get one-on-one fights like that.
Yeah, exactly. Incredible choreography and cinematography here. It's just, again, it's going up against one of the best, and it's luck of the draw, and Troy did...
Yeah.
I think if Troy was in our last matchup, Troy takes it. And maybe not handedly, but I think it's the better of all three of them.
Yeah.
I think the choreography is better. I think the cinematography in Troy is way better than both Point Break and Mission Impossible. It's just luck of the draw. And it got...
Yeah, exactly.
It got Spielberg. And unfortunately, Spielberg's going to probably win against anything. So, 13-7 victory for Last Crusade over Troy.